Hello, my friends, and welcome to episode 224 of the Kiss Army Nation podcast. I'm your host, Pasquale Vari. Unfortunately, Claudio could not be here tonight. 50 years ago, Kiss rolled into a quiet little Michigan town and changed it forever. Now, 5 decades later, Cadillac once again came alive as fans from around the world gathered to relive that legendary day. Here to talk about his first-hand experience, how one small town celebrated one of the biggest stories of all time, is Roger Bernard. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Hello, how are you?
Fantastic. I've been looking forward to this. I saw Xander's video. I talked to Thad on a previous episode. So in a sense, like I'm living this experience through the eyes of the fans who have been there. And I followed your every move when you were there. I saw all the pictures when you were there. So now I'm looking forward to hearing the stories directly from you. This is going to be awesome.
That's going to be a big challenge because my goal is going to be try to make you live what I went through when I was there. So I'll try the best I can.
No, it's going to be cool. But I want to start by asking you, take us back to the moment you first arrived in Cadillac. So what was the atmosphere like?
Let me backtrack a tiny bit first, because when we arrived, I was not alone. I was with 3 other friends. Chris McMorrin, who is from Columbus, Ohio, as well as Doyle Roush. They're both from there. So we planned this trip like back in April. That's how far it goes. And so I flew from Phoenix to Columbus, and I stayed with Chris the day before. It would be the Wednesday, the 8th. And then Ron Buckley flew from Long Island to to Doyle. And then here we go. So we spent the night different places. And then in the morning at 7 o'clock, we met together because we knew we had a long drive, about 6 hours of drive. And what do you think we're going to be speaking about when we're the 4 of us in one vehicle? Of course, right? All kind of trivia, and you just name it. But it was nice because it was like the second time we were reunited, the 4 of us together, because we did the Hollywood Bowl together. And it was the first time the 4 of us were doing a Kiss event. So this time we were all excited, get in the truck, and then I'm going to fast forward 6 hours when we were arriving very close to Cadillac. First of all, the day was beautiful. It was sunny, beautiful fall air breathing feeling. Which is something that I miss since I've been in the Southwest for the last 35 years. So I missed that fall flare. Anyway, so we get there, and then when we saw the sign "Welcome to Cadillac," this is when my heart started like going a little faster. I said, "This is it," because it's been on my bucket list for a very, very long time to be in Cadillac. I almost went for the 40th, but I was going to the Kiss Cruise in 2015, and it was too close, and I said I got to pick one, and I picked it to go to the Kiss Cruise. I said hopefully there's going to be a 50th, and sure enough there was. So here I am. So we're driving by that sign, and then we're about 1.5 miles from the town itself. For the records, Chris was the only one that was there on the 40th, so he kind of knew a little bit ahead of time, and he said, "Okay, guys, the first thing we should be doing as soon as we arrive there, we should go stop by a gas station and try to get the newspaper." So that was the first agenda right now. Try to get the newspaper. And we get there, it's very calm. There was not much happening at all. It was maybe 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right? We go to the first gas station. They had, I think, 8 copies. We take the 8 copies. Boom. Put that in the back. And then Chris is very meticulous as far as getting no crease on anything. I'm pretty much like that too. We pretty much all are. So he had a special case where we're putting them in the case so they would be like very good condition. And the cover of that newspaper is, my God, you probably saw it before, but this is what you see in front.
Yeah.
And then if you open it, it goes all the way in, and there's many pages inside that go through everything. So it's a beautiful issue. And so we go to another place and we say, okay, listen, this town is so small right now. The main street is called Mitchell. This is where you're going to see most of everything there. There's a few streets that goes up, and there's a museum on one of them. But to stay on Mitchell, this is where all the stores are. The windows are all decorated with Kiss stuff. So I took between the four of us, I can easily say we took over 3,000 pictures.
Wow.
So that's a lot of documentation we did. And Chris and I are both very much into trying to retrack, like, for example, the route of the parade, try to find where they took that picture, the building, does it still exist? And most of the buildings in the old pictures in 75 are still there.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's so cool about going to 50 years after and being able to retrack easily most of those pictures and the route. That there are more and more videos now that are coming out. So it's really helpful also. I actually, just before that podcast, I went to look at that, the Sam Loomis video on Cadillac. I was looking at that, and I found out something quite amazing. I will tell you that later. Remind me. But to stay on what we're doing now, so we're looking at the windows. It is very easy to spot. We spot the old firehouse, which is now the visitor bureau. It used to be the city hall / firehouse. So you had that door on the side was for the city hall, and in the front that goes on the Mitchell Street, there's two openings, and one was for that big truck. Those are still there, but now there's business there, so there's no truck that was going to go there. Mm-hmm. The firehouse was moved a little further down. And so we went inside. Oh my God. The staff was there, the staff for Cadillac 50th. And we start telling, okay, I flew from Phoenix. They said, you flew from Phoenix? I'm from Canada. You're from Canada? Come with me. As soon as she found out I was from Canada, she brings me in a different room. There were goodies everywhere. She goes, here's a bag. And then she puts me, this is the stuff that nobody has. And she just gives me the things like that left and right. I said, this is good. Now my friends are coming too. They're all getting one as well. But listen, at that point, this is Thursday. This reminds me so much. I wasn't there, but when you guys did the last concert in New York, there was a day when they started doing the New York Post. The best cover was the day that most fans were not in New York yet.
Yeah.
And most of those covers were discarded. Well, that was that one.
Oh, yes.
You remember that, right?
Of course.
So that copy was the best of the three. The other one, you remember the other two.
Of course.
One,
yeah.
And then this one. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first one was the most sought after.
Yeah.
That was the least available. Same thing with this.
Mm-hmm.
That was the day we saw, no joke, okay? We saw only two couples in the streets looking at those windows. Two couples and two guys after that. And people were arriving slowly, but there was not much activity going on that day because everybody was planning on coming on Friday to do the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the best copy for the New York, not for the New York, but for the newspaper was on Thursday. And anyway, so we wanted to have a couple more copies. So right in front of the firehouse is the Cadillac News. Hey, let's go there. We go in there. Super cool people, typical, like it was almost like being in Mayberry kind of thing. Like the people behind the desk and they look at you with a smile, can I help you? And we say, yeah, we're here for the today's newspaper. He says, yeah, there will be a limit of 5 per people.
Smart.
Very smart, right? So we did it and boom, and then we get out, secure that, and we start going to look at all those stores. And I see a store, there was a mannequin with there was a bootleg T-shirt. It was Crazy Nights. They had the makeup. There should be no makeup. And they had different guys, like the Tommy and Eric there. So there was like 3 different things but it looked cool. And it had Japanese marking. So I said, it looks cool. So I bought it for my wife. It was a women clothing.
Okay.
And there was a lot of T-shirts anyway. And then, the windows, you'll see there's tons and tons of different windows, but my favorite one was the one that they did some scans of old newspaper, and it looked like they did it in 2000, like about 25 years ago, and the paper in the window kind of got yellow. That's what it looked like, and it was big, and there was like old pictures of Kiss. So that was a cool window. That was my favorite window, actually, of the whole place. There was another one that was very, very smart, clever. They did a helicopter with all those tiny little white falling down. And you say, how did they do that? It's all glued together. The old flyers that were falling down the helicopter. So that was pretty cool to watch. I mean, to see. And then we made our way to the museum. So we went up the street. And when we got to the museum, um, so there's many, many rooms in there for the whole city of Cadillac, but they did a special room for KISS. So you go up the stairs, you get the table that is available there for the 4 days, for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's why they're selling those t-shirts that I'm wearing right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's got also the 50th on that sleeve over here. So that's done as far as like for t-shirt. We're buying t-shirts every day because we had a list of people who wanted to have t-shirts.
Right.
So we were there almost every day. And we say, maybe we should go get another one. And so after getting the t-shirt, there's a big room. We'd go in there. They had kind of a big blown up posters, beautiful, very clear pictures, very sharp of KISS in 75. But there was a huge table that has a very big glass over that table. And there's this man, his name is Rich Edwards. He's one of the biggest collector in Cadillac, and super nice man. I did not meet him there that day, but I met him the day after when we were visiting the gym. And I started having a conversation with him. I said, oh my God, he's telling me everything he has. So I said, okay, I saw part of your collection because I was at the museum yesterday. So anyway, go back to the first day now. I'm in the museum. I'm looking at what I see. There's some articles and pictures from newspaper that were like to die for, especially Gene. There's stuff I've never seen before. By the way, I've seen more pictures that I've never seen about Cadillac High School that I have seen actually so far. I'm not saying a lot. There's a lot going on because everybody was taking pictures over there. That was it. We did a kind of a quick tour and we wanted to see more. So we get out and we go outside. Right now, we're kind of like, you're asking me how I felt. I felt like I was fulfilling my bucket list item which was Cadillac High School. So, I mean, I said, I don't want to jinx anything. Right now, everything is going fine. I'm just going to go with the flow and everything is perfect. But you got to talk with people. Every people we talked to, they were wonderful anyway. But that was as far as we did the Cadillac News, did the firehouse, the museum. Oh, after that, we got in the car and we went to the school to see the monument. We saw the monument. It was like maybe 5 o'clock at night. There's a few clouds. We took some pictures, and then that's when Chris said, you guys, tomorrow we need to get up early because I have a picture of the monument back in 2015 when there was a sunrise and it reflects in the monument. We said, okay, we're there. So every day during this entire trip, we were up extremely early. We didn't sleep much. Mm-hmm. So we said, okay, that. And then while we're taking pictures that at 5 o'clock now of the monument, I see the front of the entire school. So I said, okay, I got to go take my pictures with the logo and the word Cadillac High School and the entire building. I wanted to go around the building, but it was open and I didn't want to go intrude, right? So we kept our distance at that point. Where I wanted to go on the football field, and they said, no, you can't go there because it's immaculate right now. So they won't let anybody go there. So what we did after that, we basically came back and later that night they wanted to eat, and they always have a few things where you can go eat. So they went to a place that is 3.5 miles from downtown. It's a taco joint that has and just walking in, Chris said, this is going to be a good place. Mm-hmm. So you don't find, downtown and around, you don't find really fast food like Taco Bell or things like that. You don't find anything like that. It's all homemade everywhere we go, and you got to go really like 3 miles away, and they're all kind of together, the fast food. So we would never ate there actually because we ate so well in Cadillac. And so that's pretty much like my first impression. You asking me, it was I was numb almost the entire time. It was such a beautiful feeling. It was great.
But that's it, right? Nothing even started yet, and already there's a sense of excitement, and it's like, wow, I'm in this historic place right now. Mm-hmm. Yes. So the next day when the festivity started, was beginning to start. So what was that sense of community like between the fans, the townspeople, the organizers?
The organizers, I'll start with the the store. Any stores you walk in, you were greeted with a great smile, and everybody's wearing Kiss t-shirts, so
Yeah.
they knew who we were, right? Because usually it's not that busy, and now we were bringing a lot of business there. That day, now you're starting to see a lot of fans. Now you're starting like they're walking across and they're looking and they're taking pictures in front of their windows. But everywhere we went, it was like above and beyond. God, you get the sense of there's a store that is called the Wildflower, and there's a lady that works there. Her name is Heather, and then she had those cookies that form the logo Kiss. Okay, but then she wanted to impress us, so she shows us, and what she was trying something. It's a cookie that is white, and she can print the entire image of the four faces in color. And it was really like coming out good, but it was not quite perfect. So we went back the day after to see her again. And she said, I stayed until 2 o'clock in the morning, tried to perfect that cookie, and she had it perfect that
Oh,
day.
wow.
That's how she's so dedicated. And the owner of that restaurant was behind her and he was kind of smiling. He goes, yeah, that's her. That's how she is. She wants everything to be perfect. And we're very happy to have her working for us. But yeah, shout out to her. She was like amazing. Who did I meet also the day after? I met the organizer. I told you that when I went to the firehouse, are incredibly welcoming those people were. They said, oh, well, come follow me, follow me. But every time for the 4 days we kept seeing them, they kept seeing the four of us together. So they knew us very well at one point. But we did to every pretty much event that were going on. So that's why they kept seeing us, except there's one time there were two events coming at the same time. So we could do only one. Oh, we met Bill Barnett. I'm sorry. Bill Barnett was number 88. And he used to be a mayor actually for Cadillac. So very proud, obviously. It was fun talking to him. And anybody you talk that went through the Kiss period were like trying to tell you how everything was and are amazing, that they're very, very proud of their city and that event that took place. So yeah, those guys were like on top of the world.
But that must have been something really special. You actually talked to people who were there in 1975.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. And they try to tell you everything in detail. And you find quite a few details, actually. There's at one point I was in the museum, and Rich Edward, there was one day that he was showing everything he had. He had a drumstick of Peter Criss.
Yeah.
And he's showing his thing, right, to people. And there's a guy that is standing, and I don't know why. He comes to me and we start talking. Find out I'm the same age as he is by like 3 months. And his name is Greg Laurent. And I said, wait, are you? He said, yeah, I'm the son of the principal.
Oh my God.
John Laurent. That's his son. He passed away now. I mean, his dad. But yeah, I said, and it's funny enough, actually, like I'm going to show you. Before we arrived on Thursday, the newspaper on Wednesday was on John Laurent.
Okay.
All the way inside, the entire story, like he had like I think 8 brothers and 1 sisters, and like they were all like very much into sports and things like that. And so I read it real quick on, and that's what they talk about. But Greg was talking to me, and it's like you can see the passion that was coming out of him. He said, one time when you see, he sent me a picture. Actually, he sent me a picture when Ace and Peter are together, and Ace is hugging, like not hugging, but he's with a girl, and then behind there's a guy watching, and that's Greg.
Okay,
it's me watching in the back because Greg was only 15 at that time. But his dad was a principal, so that's why he was on premises. So a super friendly guy, and that was another guy like you don't just random, right? You meet. Rich Edward also was talking about everything he had. He had a beautiful frame with some stencil for the makeup that Kiss sent to them, so they can apply the makeup to the students. Oh, he had the flyer and also a ticket. The ticket by itself and the ticket looks so cool. I mean, of everything that he had there, that I know the drumstick is very unique. It's one of one, right? But the ticket was so beautiful. It was in a little plexiglass sleeve. it was like, oh my God, that looks so perfect. I would take that over a flyer or anything else. I mean, it's like, oh my God. But he said those are very rare. By the way, Richard Edward, he said that at one point he was trying to collect most of the yearbook,
Hmm.
and he went up to, I think, 68 of them he had at one point.
Wow.
He sold the one for John Five. John Five got it from him, and now he's down. He has only two left. So I think he's keeping those. But
Hmm.
yeah,
This sounds like an incredible event, only because, as Kiss fans, we've heard about Cadillac. We all know about Cadillac,
yeah.
but you guys were there at ground zero, and you
Mhm.
got to fill in all these details that we couldn't possibly know unless this particular event happened.
Yeah,
And that's amazing.
it's yeah. I mean, you try to actually feel the vibes to see
Hmm.
exactly. Try to reenact in your brain. Say, okay, when the parade was going, they were going that way, and try to find out which street that he took, and all the way down to Mitchell, and then take a left on Hayes. I mean, it's like, oh my God, we did that, and then one time we realized that by talking to people, said, where was Kiss staying at? So they were staying, that taco place I told you there was 3.5 miles away
Yeah.
from downtown. Well, down the street, like literally, you can throw rocks where they were staying. There's a lodge that was there. It's not there anymore. They destroyed it now. It is a church that is there now.
Okay.
But in that lodge, oh my God, that's the thing that I found out today. Actually, I was telling you, I was watching the video.
Hmm.
You know, when they did that breakfast with the makeup, with the mayor and the principal, and they're all sitting like almost like the Last Supper, it's a
Yeah.
long table and they're all facing one way.
Yeah.
That room is so small. It looks like they're facing a ballroom and they're talking to people because they have a microphone and everything. There's like three little round table in front of them with the staff of KISS and the staff of the organizer for the city and everything. There's three tables, and because sometimes at one point there's a scene that is taken from behind that big table, and right behind those three tables that are in front is a mirror. It's a wall mirror. So you
Hmm.
see, it's a very small room, by the way. I said, oh my God, look at that. But that luncheon happened at the lodge. So that was not at the school. So that was not so in downtown. That's where it
Okay.
was. Yeah, I
Oh,
found that
wow.
out. We found that
Wow.
out. So we went there, and it's only like the frame of a sign that is left. Then the sign is not there. It's just the metal frame. We were taking pictures of the metal frames. We would go like, people are looking at us right now. They're taking pictures of a pole with a rectangle steel frame that has nothing in it. Who are those guys? Only Kiss fan would do stuff like that.
Exactly. Just, attention to detail, and I mean detail.
Oh yeah. Because
Absolutely.
oh my God, because every time you see those limos leaving on those
Yeah.
movies,
Yeah.
there's a big parking lot. That's where that lodge was.
Okay. Now, I
Yeah.
want to talk about the events that they actually had, right? Well, in your opinion, was this like they're trying to do like a recreation of 75, or is it really a celebration of
A
75?
celebration. It's a celebration because
Okay.
I think they did a parade for the 40th, and they did not do a parade this time.
Okay.
There was actually, by the way, every night at the end, I was staying at the hotel, and if you go to the bar every single night, Mr. Speed was there.
Oh,
They were
nice.
there. They always to do like an after party, even though the first night there was not that many people, but after that there were long tables with all the Kiss fans. So it was fun to go after that and go chat with them, and then we go back in our room and just go
Oh,
back to bed.
beautiful. Beautiful.
But yeah, for that particular thing, that was fun. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was. There was a lot of events planned. There was a bingo session. I got a schedule here. I can tell you all the events that happened. Like on Friday they had let's go. Well, Thursday there was pretty much like photo op for the with the windows and self-guided tour that you can take. But on Friday there was a lot going on as far as like we woke up in the morning. Actually, that's when we did those pictures with the sunrise on that
Hmm.
monument. And at the same time, that was cold, by the way. It was like 40 degrees when we did that.
Okay.
And there was the big trailer from the radio station that looked like a big boom box, and you
Hmm.
can go in there. And they was doing interviews. He did interviews with let me see, Jim Neff was in there. Rich Cossack did an interview as well. That Zilka.
Yeah,
He
fat.
did it. He did also the interview in there as well. And while they were doing that, we were outside, like chatting with Mary Stubbs was there, and she couldn't believe when we were asking her, "Can I have your autograph and can I have my picture taken with you?" She goes, "You guys are crazy. You want to do that?" I said, "That's the way we are. Sorry, but you are a big star to us." And but they're super, so everybody is so nice over there, and like everybody around that you talk to, we had the best time ever. But so that was on Friday. I didn't even start reading you what they were planning on. So this is serious. Like 4:15, there was the tailgate. Okay, the tailgate. Oh my God. So I walked there. It's very cloudy right there. It's not raining yet. By the way, the whole trip, we didn't have rain except for half an hour. And that's when we were to take a look at that gym. When
Hmm.
we're inside that gym, it was raining outside. When we came out, it was not raining. So at 4:15, we go to the tailgate. They were serving hot dogs and things like that. With the music was blasting very, very loud. And there was the lawn in front of the entrance of the Cadillac High School. Not for the front, but the side.
Hmm.
And then I'm looking, I said, oh my God, I'm getting a major flashback because it was all those tables where they had somebody applying the makeup to somebody else. I said, oh, wow, this is like 1975, big time right now to see the people helping putting the makeup to everyone. They asked us, they brought a box of makeup for the four of us. Said, do you guys want to put makeup? We thought about it and now we just want to get our pictures. Like we want to be free and have, when you take a picture somewhere, you don't want to have the makeup on. We want it to be like the way we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
We passed on that. But so shortly after we see that, there's a lady, she sees me and I have my white jacket with a kiss in front and the four faces in the back. She goes, can I take a picture of you? I said, yeah, sure. Okay. And then I show her the back and she goes, you see the man over there? And there's a man with a tripod and a big camera. I go, yeah. She goes, go see him because that's my husband and he's making the documentary for Kiss. I said, okay, let me go see him. I said, his name is what? She goes, Mark. I said, okay. So his Mark is Mark Boardman. That's his full name. So I go and say, hi, Mark. He said, hi. And then I said, your wife asked me to come and say hi to you. And how are you doing today? I mean, we started a conversation. Super nice man, obviously. And I said, you're doing this big montage? She said, yes. I said, how long have you been working on that? I said, since spring.
Hmm.
So it's been working a long time. So turned out that, the day after when they do the rockumentary, they show the Del Myers video, right, on Cadillac.
Hmm.
And then the second one is 1 hour long. That was made by Mark. Mark did
Okay.
that. So, and by the way, not to spoil it yet, I'm going to cover that later, but it's amazing. So we're talking, and then, now we have to gather because we're going to have the entrance in Cadillac to go see the gymnasium. So I go there. I have to film the whole thing. So I did film the whole thing, walking in. It's kind of fun. We go in and the lady introduced herself. Then she goes, we're going to go meet the gymnast. And I've never met Jim before, so I was getting excited. Like how finally I'm going to meet the man, the myth, the legend. So when we saw him, he was sitting at the table. I have never met a person so nice in my life. I swear to you, the man is so proud of what he did and is so God, how can I say? He's always every time he sees you, we saw him many, many times, and every time he looks at you, it's like so genuine friendship going on. Like he was spending the entire day doing a signature. He had to carry two Sharpies with him because everybody wants to have his signature. So on that particular day, I didn't do anything with them as far as signing. I just took opportunity pictures. But when we met him in that kind of area where there were tables, so okay, let's go to the gym now. So he goes in the gymnasium. I mean, the hall first. He talks about, and then we go inside the gym. And I posted myself right next to him. I wanted to get everything he was saying because he's got a kind of a soft-spoken voice,
Hmm.
and I want to make sure I catch everything. And I was maybe like, I don't know, 5 or 6 feet max away from him, so it was close. And all that time when he was talking, there was another guy across that was filming too. He had like a gray beanie on, and I know that guy, but I cannot. I know I never talked to him, but I see his face looks so familiar. Anyway, so we'll leave it to that, and I'm finishing the video, and then he goes, okay, now if you want to go around and take pictures and do whatever. So I go in the middle. I finally get like my picture with Jim Neff and short talk with him because people wanted to take pictures. Then I go a little further. I wanted to see exactly where the gym was, and the gym was no, I'm sorry, not the gym, but the stage, because the stage had been removed, and I
Hmm.
knew exactly where it was. He said it's about 30 feet long by 15 feet deep. That's what it was. So I was able to kind of recreate in my mind exactly where it was, and there's a balcony made of metal over that. So I went everywhere in that gym, took panning of all the angle. We went on the bleachers on top on the second floor. Nobody went there. One or two guys went there. So I finally took pictures everywhere. Another short video as well. I posted some of those videos on my I have a different page on YouTube, so it's there. Um, and then yeah, then I got excited when I saw the corner stairway. I said, "Oh my God, this is the picture with the cheerleaders, right? They all this is there with them, and they're taking the picture. I said, let's do the same picture, the four of us. So the four of us goes in that stairways. We asked somebody to take a picture of us, and we kind of compare that. That was kind of fun. That was excited to find that little place actually, and you never think. So when you're in the gymnasium, you should have the stage in front of you. If you go to the very right in that corner, that's where those stairways are.
Okay.
And anyway, that's where it was.
Well, let me cut you off for a
Yeah.
second. Before you went on this trip, did you study some old videos of Cadillac to remind yourself, where these things were, or were you like
Yeah, we did.
surprised when you were there and it all came back to you, sort of?
I watched quite a few of them because there's different videos that exist out there. I was watching those, and I have tons of pictures as well. And then, but I said I'm not really going to have a very good idea for sure. I even did, back in maybe 10, 15 years ago, I even did the Google Earth to go walk the streets of
Right.
Cadillac. I did that, and you were able to go to that school. And recently, I tried to do it. You can't go near. And
Oh, really?
I'm thinking it might have something to do with maybe those school shooting. They don't want
Ah,
people
right.
to get in too close to the school. That's the
True.
only thing I can think of
True.
for protection, privacy, and anyway. So, but I did that in the old days. I was able to see things, but I was not aware too much of each street that were there in
Hmm.
downtown. So I was kind of lost. But now I got a very good feel of that. I'm planning on going back again, even though I don't think that's going to be a 60th. The 50th was like the big hoorah that they did, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen for the 60th if they're going to want to do something. We'll see how everything goes by then. But I want to go back because I'm finding even more things again. And I know my wife was not with me when I did the trip, but this time I would take my wife with me
Hmm.
for sure because
Nice.
I know
Nice.
she would like it. That was my take on. Oh yes, let me finish. I was telling you about the events. We took a little tangent there on the event. So right after that, when you get out, it was the oh yeah, yeah, okay, I'm good now. So I'm walking, we're walking out from that gym, and I see that guy with the beanie again.
Right. Right.
I said, you know what? I mean, you remind me of someone, but I can't tell. He said, I have a YouTube page. He said, oh, is that when you go and try to find location where Kiss was before? I said, yeah, it's called the All Thing Kiss. So those video, All Thing Kiss, like at that time in 1974, when they go in Central Park, they go everywhere. He retracted exactly where the pictures are
Hmm.
taken. The guy is a detective. That's what he does. He try to find everything. And we start talking, right? I said, did you do anything here? He said, yeah. I said, I went everywhere. I said, were you able to figure out the entire route for that parade? I said, yeah, I got it all. I said, okay. And then we start talking. I said, I know some unusual things that might help him. So we start talking. I tell him, do you know anything about the top of the Empire State Building? He said, no. And I told him what I know that Bill O'Quinn told me in the past. And I told him other things like when Ace, on the first three concerts of 1977, when it goes up in that platform, and that platform does a 360 degrees, that nobody
Hmm.
knows that they did that except if you saw it. And he was like, oh my God. So I was giving him some info like that. And every time I'd ask him a question, said, do you know what that is? And then he knew everything I knew as far as like, I didn't have to explain things. We were like the same level as far as like we talk about old pictures or locations and things. Like it was so fun. So we follow each other on Facebook now, and yeah, so I can't wait to see the next video when he does it on a Cadillac. That should be quite interesting. Then we keep going out, and now it's the end of the rain, well, because it was raining at that point. It was just sprinkling at that point, and then I go, okay, the game. So the game for the Vikings, that was an event. Doyle already bought 6 tickets online for us for that event. So I walked in. Nobody asked me for my tickets but I wasn't with Doyle, but there was no one checking. So I just walked in. I go sit, and then I see Chris. Chris said, "Did you go buy a ticket?" I said, "No." He said, "Go buy a ticket." I said, "But we already have one." He said, "Go buy a ticket." I said, "Okay, I'll go." It was only $6. Look at that ticket.
Oh, wow.
It's so cool. I would have paid like $20 easy for that
Just
ticket.
for that
It was
ticket.
so awesome. So I was like, oh my God, this is so cool, right? Then now I'm sitting. I wanted to go high to get a good overview. And now the sun is peaking now. The clouds are opening. The sun is peaking on 3 yellow Scholar buses. And you can see the Viking people. It's not starting again, but the Viking team is starting to practicing some plays with that background. So I got a few videos of that. I haven't posted those yet. I will in the very near future. They're very short. They may be like 10 to 15 seconds, but you can see this is so cool. Now I said, I can't believe I'm sitting where everything that happened in 1975. Everything happened. The helicopter went in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
I'm right there. So even though that game, I think it finished like it was 21-0 for the other team or 24-0, I can't remember. It didn't matter. It's just to be there and watching this. And the announcer too. And, oh, by the way, when they were rehearsing, when they were doing those plays, Kiss music playing out loud, very loud. So that was just, that was so amazing. Love that part. That was the game.
Was it at the game, the drone show?
That was a drone show after, so nobody left. Oh, by the way, people sometimes they ask, "Oh, was it crowded?" Yeah, it was pretty crowded. I'm gonna say, there's a lot of room actually, and all the seats were wet, so you get to bring something to wipe that seat after the rain. But it was, I'm gonna say, at least 80 to close to 90% full.
Okay.
And there was another. See, there's one side where the announcer is. That's where there's the most seats, and across there's maybe an area for the rival team. That's where people are going to go. And then anyway, so yeah, that was full. The announcer, the voice was very like, it gets you. Like every time I go see a game live, it's different than watching it on TV, obviously, right? Because you get all the feel. Cheerleaders are there and they're dancing and they're doing things, and so that was good. The game, the band, when they were playing, after that they came and sat, and they were right in front of us when they were sitting and still playing music. So the drone show, I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. We saw all those drones lining up. There was like 5 tiers, and then they went dark. And then the next thing that happened, it was Cadillac spelled, and that thing was, it was almost like a screen. They were not moving. They was like very stable. And I said, okay, that's going to be good. So that's when I started recording. And yeah, that went for about 13, 15 minutes. With the music. It was all about the music. One time you say, what's that? And then it was Gene breathing fire. There was a firehouse, the song was playing.
Right.
And then you see the truck coming, and it's kind of hard to see it. They say, oh, that's a truck. And people were reacting, screaming. So yeah, there was a lot of energy in the crowd. There was a lot of locals for that game. So it's nice to see that. And the fact that we're participating to that. And then when we left, that's when somebody stopped me. And I still had that jacket. I'm so glad I brought that white jacket, by the way. They said, can we take a picture? There was 2 people. They had a card, a press card. They took a picture of it, and they said, I said, where can I see that? They said, it's called mlive.com. M for Michigan, I guess, live.com. And they had a publication that appeared, and there was a picture of me with that jacket, and it says a quote that I told them. I said, I waited 45 years to attend this moment, and now I'm living it. So that was nice. And then, yeah, we went back to the hotel, and now we were close to 9:15, which was the viewing of the Cadillac footage that nobody has seen before from that DJ, Dale Myers. And we all watched that in our room. We had a iPad, and we watched the whole thing when it came out. And then we went back to the bar and see Rick from Mr. Speed.
Hmm.
And we had quick words, and that was it. Thinking back, and that was on that was on Friday. On Saturday, we did the race. We did the 5K race. So again, we had to be we had to be there at 7 o'clock. Actually, before 7 o'clock, and we did the 5K. There was about 60 of us doing it, and when you finish it, they give you lanyard.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, it was not like a medal like you would do a real race, but everything, all the money that you spend over there, charity. It goes for charity. So it
Okay.
was always for a good cause. So that was
Okay.
great. Like even when we did that bingo,
Hmm.
they said there was so much money that went in. That was packed, by the way. And everybody was buying like $50 of cards. So they said we paid the rent for the whole year of a certain event that they were doing. So that's
Wow.
super. So Saturday we did the race. Right after the race, right, we got pictures with our things. We get in the car. We went one street. What do we see? The fire truck was out. I said, "Stop the car! We need to get a picture with the fire truck. Of course, we can't miss that." And even the guys were actually helping us. So, yeah, go ahead. So we took a few pictures of that. Oh, we went to the book signing. We
Hmm.
went to the book signing was between 9:30 and 11. I think we got there around 10:30, 11. And Jim Neff was there. And again, that's what my first signature I got from him. I got two signatures from Jim. So I had nothing on me but the little flyer
Okay.
that they give. So I opened it and I made him sign this part over here.
Nice.
So that's one. And I knew I had something else I wanted him to sign. He said, "If you come tonight to the concert," he said, "I'll be there." I said, "Okay." So I made sure that I got a tube and I put a poster that I brought with me. I'll show you what it is. It's a very full poster.
Oh, yes. I saw that. Beautiful.
So I get it signed on the side over there.
Hmm.
And when I asked him for that signature, by the way, it was like 9:30 at night. And he was still, I mean, he's been signing all day long, right? And his wife was with him too, a tiny little lady. And then you can tell they're always together, taking care of each other. And then he went to the bathroom. I said, "I'm going to the bathroom." And then she goes and she's waiting. And I went to speak with her. I said, "You must be exhausted." She goes, "Yeah, I am." I said, "You're a real trooper." And then I said, "Does Jim still has his Sharpies with him?" She goes, "Yeah, he does." So he comes out and he starts going. She goes, "Hey, here he is." So she goes and try to get him. As he goes, he wants to have a signature. And I thought he'd be like, "Oh, no." Big smile, all excited, and
Oh.
goes to the table and he signs it for me and shake his hand. And he looks at you in the eyes and like he's so happy to do what he's doing. I was like, wow, that man must be exhausted by now. Anyway, so
Hmm.
they went. Um, but to go back to that signing, so I bought one of his book, Pat, and yeah, there was a lot going on. And then we started talking again with Jim a little bit more, and I'll show you something unusual here. So there was the four of us, right? There was Doyle, Ron, and Chris with me. And he gets in his pocket and he takes out four guitar picks.
Oh,
So
nice.
shouldn't F, but the F is for Foo Fighters. The F for the Foo Fighters.
Okay.
Yeah. That was he gave that to us with the Cadillac.com. So I thought we were kind of lucky. It's just like it went like this. I don't know how many he had at the museum. That pic actually was in the window. Finished the book signing. There was going to be we went to the museum because there's something that we missed when we were at the museum. There was a portfolio in the corner. So we went to see Rich Edwards, right? And I think that was his portfolio in that corner of the room. We start opening that. Oh my God. There's possibly maybe letters. I took a picture of everything that was in there. The letters, there were possibly 20 to 25 different letters of correspondence between Aucoin and him and other
Wow.
things as
Okay.
well. And then the pictures that were taken by fans from Cadillac that I have never seen before. They were possibly, I don't know, maybe in the neighborhood of like maybe 50, 60, maybe more. I don't know, but there was a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
I took pictures of all of them, and I still have to go through detailing, like cropping every one of them, and I haven't done that yet. But yeah, so that was that portfolio was heavy, like heavy in
Wow.
information. That was like, okay, this is for geeks like us, this is almost like opening a chest, a treasure chest. That's what it felt like. After that, rockumentary. So there we go. The rockumentary that they started by showing the Dale's video. Again, we saw it before, but it was fine. He was there on stage and he said a few words, everybody clapping. And that was about 26 minutes. And then they showed the documentary by Market Boardman. And that was good. There was tons and tons of people that we don't know that played for the team that were like talking about things. So it was extremely informative. A lot of stories that I haven't heard before. And they also use the AI drawings. So when they had, for example, that famous story when they had to go and get the dry ice in a different
Yes.
town. When they
Yeah.
come back and they smoke, so they had like this drawing of this guy driving with the head sticking out of the window. My favorite was the seven semi truck when they arrived, like they're all
Mm-hmm.
part of the school. Oh my God, there was some pictures that are really, really good. So those drawings were like quite a nice ad. The reason why this video, I think, is not available for the public yet, I know that a day after that, I was walking in the street with Chris. We were trying to get the route for the parade, and I see Mark with one of the organizer for Cadillac 50th. They were both there. I said, "Hey, Mark," I said, "we're trying to find things." And then we start talking, and he finds out that Chris, 10 years ago, took a lot of pictures that he superposed with the old ones with a new one. And
Mm-hmm.
they became very good friends. And he said, "Can you exchange some of those pictures with me? Because that would help me for the film that I'm doing." And then he did a short video of him, Chris and I, saying what we're doing here on the 50th and stuff, because he was updating his documentary with the event that was happening this entire weekend. He kept filming everything.
Okay.
So I think that's going to be added to his documentary that he's working on. So, which is, I know when it comes out, you're going to love seeing this
Mm-hmm.
thing because it's
I'm
really, really, really
sure.
good. Then after that, there was the concert for Mr. Speed. There was an opening band, so we were there like around 7:30, and amazing. They are, oh my God.
You never
Yeah.
saw Mr. Speed, right?
I never saw Mr. Speed before, but I spoke with Rick when I met him at the Hollywood Bowl when we were waiting to go
Right.
in. And we had a short conversation for maybe like 15 minutes. That's it. But I mean, I've seen the pictures, but I've never seen really live sing. Holy, okay. First of all, they could not put those ramps because the stage was too small.
Right.
But still, the colors are just so amazing. First of all, the costumes are impeccable.
Yeah.
The colors are
Yeah. Yeah.
so vibrant. They're perfect. Those guys are, my God, talking about like being in details. They were doing like when they went to Australia, I think, or they were in Europe, right? When they had a big car. He's got
Mm-hmm.
an Eric car outfit and his ace. The car, oh my God, it was perfect. And then the movement that Rich is doing, it's all Paul when he's going like this, and like every movement he was doing, like, holy, he's really going for it. So I was expecting a lot, but he delivered a lot more than I was expecting.
Oh,
So
wow.
and when I went to tell him that night, I said, "Your drummer is an animal. He's crazy. He's so good." Like, 'cause they have a new one, and it's like he is really amazing what he did. Uh, Ace was like perfect what he was doing, but Gene, that guy, we met him the day before, and he was with him without the makeup, right? And I didn't know that this guy was Gene. So he's like not talking much. He's very quiet. And then as soon as he's got the makeup and the outfit, like a totally different person.
Mm-hmm.
He's embodying the Gene persona so well, just like they're all doing their so well in everything they do. And when you see them without makeup, you would never tell.
Right.
They're like, oh my God. But anyway, so yes, the songs were wonderful. I mean, I was extremely pleased because usually tribute band, I like it, but sometimes you go like so-so.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, they went all the way. to the point that I went back to the merch. Very smart. They sold a lot of items like a
Yeah.
poster,
Yeah.
cards. I bought a lot of stuff actually at the end. Yeah.
I would have gone crazy if I was there. I know it. I would have gone nuts.
Yeah.
So Roger, I want to ask you because you've done a lot of Kiss related events, right?
Yes.
How would you compare Cadillac with the other Kiss events that you've done? You've done quite
Um,
a bit.
yeah, I've done different ones. I've done the Kiss Cruise. All of them, they all have something in common is that you're going to meet other Kiss fans.
Hmm.
And that's always exciting. Now, this one, like another event that I did back in December 77, when there was a competition lookalike Kiss. So there was no band involved. Kiss was not involved in it. I mean, Kiss was not involved. I mean, the band members were not
Hmm.
involved. They were not there. I'm gonna say this one was very unique because the yes, the fans are there. You connect with them. If you want your feel of concert until you go see Mr. Speed, you get your feel of concert going on. But the main things for me and was to try to relive the 1975 and meet the people that went through that. That I swear to God, this town, it's like they put a capsule on it and they just removed it and you say, okay, you
Mm.
go and see those people and talk with them. And like I said, they are so welcoming and the nicest people that you can think of. So that was extremely fulfilling. I mean, because when we're on the last day of that Kiss event, I mean, the Kiss event, I call it a Kiss event, right?
It is
It's
a Kiss
the
event. Yeah.
50th. Yeah,
Yeah.
the 50th. We were all like, we said every day we were expecting so much and we got a lot more. Even the first day when there was not much, we were getting the newspapers and incredible things. So we were like, we were overjoyed every single day. So yeah, it was an extremely positive trip for
Hmm.
us.
But
But
it didn't end there though,
no,
because you ended up going to Detroit Rock City
yes, I
and
did.
you visited Mark Cicchini's collection.
Correct,
Oh my God. So
correct.
tell us about that.
Followed, I mean, I watched many videos and podcasts that he did, and he talks always about that his collection, that all his first of all, when I met him, we're in the house. You could get in the house, like, there's no Kiss. There's
Hmm.
no Kiss. It's like you got to go in the basement. That's where everything is. So just to go down the stairs, you look at the posters. It's, oh my God, those posters! I've never seen those before. Because I know
Right.
he always says, he said, I'm a sucker for posters. Yeah, he is. I've seen posters like everything I was looking at. I've never seen before.
Hmm.
It was like God, and then I see the all those gold and platinum, but those are all OGs. It's got 20 of them, and they're all from either Chandellini or J.R.
Oh
Smalling.
my
And
God.
so it's all from, when it comes to a source like that, those I call that the OGs. I have only one here, and it's from somebody that was the assistant of Bill O'Coin. So I consider that maybe an OG as well because
Yeah.
it's from the period, and I'm cherishing it. But I can't afford to have too many of them. But here's the thing: when we're like that, he's super nice, by the way, and it was very welcoming, very wonderful host. His wife as well, super. My God, I mean, we've met before on the Kiss Cruise, but that's the first time you go to this place, right? And you get in that shrine that is on
Hmm.
there, and I'm looking around, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know where to look. And he said, Roger, you're into those, clipping of papers and stuff, and he
Yeah.
shows me boxes. And I didn't even go through the boxes. I'm just looking right now because I'm just trying to absorb everything he
Yeah.
has. And he will always tell you, right? This is not the Kiss room. This is just the first room, but that's the biggest room. So anyway, so we go in the other room and go like, okay. He said that's where he does his podcast. And he gets a box and there's T-shirts in there, and I'm looking at, oh my God, all the t-shirts I was looking at, I haven't seen that before, never seen that before. It was like, my God. And that's when he says to me, he says, you see, you had like a closet at one point. It was still posters that were rolled in there. And he said, "How many posters do you have?" He said, "Well, the last time I counted, that's was in the neighborhood of 600 and something."
Wow.
So, and they're all like nothing. I mean, there's a few rolled, but most of them are all with a board, and they all. But he can't display them. And he said, "That's the thing." He said, "John Five he can display most of his collection. Me, it's like it's all box." So I've seen some of his collection, but I didn't see everything because I
You
mean, he would have
can't.
taken it. He would have taken it. I swear to God, if you had like an entire warehouse, he could probably easily just with this poster alone, he can fill it up.
Hmm.
It was like my God. And then after that, we went for a late breakfast or early lunch. You can say around 11 o'clock, I think we went because we had to be back in Columbus, Ohio, because I know Ron had a flight at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So
Okay.
our time was limited. And actually, Mark had to go back to work. Actually, he just took the time off just to come and see us, and then he had to go back to work. So yeah, great host and everything. But yeah, that was very very pleased. When they say people say he has a big collection, it's bigger than you think.
It's an understatement.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is another
Yeah.
statement. Yeah,
So
for sure.
tell me more about the merch from Cadillac. What else did you get?
Merchant Cadillac. I got. Oh, let's start with a T-shirt.
Yeah, those are nice.
Got that, and then during at the game there was
Oh, I didn't see that one. Oh,
yeah,
very cool.
and at the end and behind it says let me see what it says in the back. It says pretty much there's a date and oh, it's all about the Vikings team, what they're doing on those dates, if they're at home
Okay.
or they're homecoming, things like that. That's what it says in the back.
Very
And
cool.
but anyway, so yeah, this and the rest is oh yeah. uh, we went to the bingo thing on Sunday, and at one point the organizer were there as well, and they stopped the bingo after the fifth. There was 10 cards, 10 plays, and then after the fifth one, they said, "Okay, we want to know who flew from the furthest away to come here today," and this is what that person was going to get.
Ah,
This is only for the organizer, the people who were working for
okay.
Kiss Cadillac. And I've tried a few times before the previous 2 days that you sure there's not one for sale? I'll pay the money. I mean, I want one. And they said, and so there was another person who raised a hand. They were coming from Seattle, and I was from Phoenix. And they looked on their phone, and there was a difference of, I think, just a few miles between the two of
Hmm.
them. So, but she won. So I said, okay. I said, and then I turned my head, and then the girl comes, she comes back and she goes in my ear, said, "What size do you wear?" I go large. And she went back and she found a large. So she gave one to her and one to me.
Oh my God.
But that's how nice they are.
Oh,
They were like,
beautiful.
so I saw her that night because Mr. Speed were doing a second concert on Sunday. So
Okay.
I gave her a big hug. I said, "Thank you so much for what you're doing." Um, I, let's see what else. I showed you that poster.
Yeah.
So I bought a Mr. Speed poster.
Yeah, that is nice.
That's pretty cool. Oh, the Cadillac News, you could take one with you if you wanted to. That's free. The
Very
Cadillac
cool.
poster.
Yeah.
Go Viking.
I,
Um,
I don't want to check eBay to see how much this stuff must be worth right now or how much they're
uh,
selling it for.
well, I don't think. Well, I've seen a few things going like for 175 for a package of all the things together.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right.
Yeah. Then I was able to get. They were selling that actually at the game. So it's a big poster
Oh,
with all the
nice.
guys with the makeup, and on the other side they have no makeup. Same guys, but without the makeup.
Okay. Very cool.
But yeah, you get the logo in the corner.
Oh, that's,
Cadillac with, you know,
I mean, they spared no detail. I mean, they really went all out.
they did good. They did good. I got a lot more. Hold on. The tickets for the documentary, they were really cool.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah.
Yes, they're all numbered, by the way.
Okay.
Um, Anywhere you go for like where they were selling beers, there was an IPA, AZ IPA party every day. That was the name of that beer. That's a coaster and a sticker. That was the sticker was
Wow.
in a different store. The mascot. This is the mascot for
Okay,
thing,
yeah.
just like a program, right? What everything was going to be, a map and where the stores are located.
That's a good souvenir.
Yeah, and I had one signed with the Bill Barnett, number
Okay.
88, because I wanted to put something in my book, in my and oh yeah, there's a place. This was cool. I found that's gonna be perfect for my books when I do Cadillac. I have Cadillac, but those are all stickers. They're really
Okay.
cool. So about like I don't know
The
six, seven of
Vikings.
them. Yeah,
Okay.
the Vikings. They give you that too. When we did the 5K, that was in the back. Oh, there's a beautiful bag by the way, which is that bag is good.
Oh, wow,
Really?
nice.
Yeah, that's where I was storing all my newspaper actually.
Where'd you get that?
For the 5K, when you're
Okay.
doing the 5K, they give you a bag with tons of goodies in there, and then they give you the coasters.
So you have to run 5K to get that bag?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have made it.
Well, I walked it. We
Okay.
walked it. The four of us. I mean, I would maybe run a little bit of it, but I wasn't trained for that. And since there were the four of us, we're all together, so we were two and two, and we just walked it. Even I finished, I think, of 60, I finished number 58, I think.
All right.
But
Yeah.
it was just like, when you participate, the money goes for charity, and we get the goodies at the
Little,
end. That's
yeah.
coaster. Let's see. Oh yeah, the popcorn. So this is a popcorn, right? There was maybe like 450. Look at the other side.
Oh, wow.
Good pictures, right?
Yeah.
So this is still full. I didn't open it, and I don't know if I will open it, but anyway. And that store, this is like 450, and they sell you. Where did I put it? They sell you the bag unopened. I mean, just a bag without no popcorn in it, $3.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
it's right here. They know. They know
Oh,
we're suckers.
they know Kiss
So
fans. They know
they know
Kiss
Kiss
fans.
fan. You buy a bag of popcorn without the popcorn, and you pay $3 for it.
It was like in New York. I bought the pizza box without the pizza.
There we go.
I,
There you
I,
go.
didn't, I
Same
didn't want
thing.
the oil all over the box.
No,
Yeah.
you don't. This is a chart of the Cadillac when they were playing, all the players and what they're doing, this position. This is all what they're expecting on the bingo when we're doing the bingo. So
Okay.
I keep that for records. The Cadillac reunion, 50th.
Man, it's Kiss everything. It's amazing.
Oh, it's Kiss everywhere. It's like they
Everything.
really. Oh, all the banners that was in those streets, they were incredible. And
Yeah.
the Kiss Boulevard, because they
Boulevard.
put the
Yes.
Kiss Boulevard in, that's all going to be in auction. There
Oh,
will be an
yeah.
auction. There will be an
Okay.
auction either at the end of the month or next month. That's
Okay.
so stay tuned for that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. I don't know what they're going to go for, but
Yeah,
I
probably
think
a
it's
lot.
it's
Yeah.
going to go a lot because everything's going to be for charity again when they're doing an auction for that.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
And then Mary Stubbs, the cheerleader, she's the one. If you want to know who she is, she's the one right there. She was always
Okay.
with Paul.
Right.
That's Mary Stubbs.
Okay.
So I said, I need to have your autographs. So she goes, hold on. She goes in her car and she gets this piece of paper that was only given to her and I guess people that used to be in a team back in
Okay.
75, and she signed it on top.
Oh, nice.
So that was kind of cool.
Now
Let's see.
that's history.
Yeah, for sure. Right there it is. That's the book that I bought,
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so funny because I didn't know who he was, right? When he said he met me at the hotel, because I watched your last podcast that you did with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting at a bar having a burger, and then he comes with his wife. They sit in the booth. It was like in between two events that was happening in Cadillac. So I was taking just a bite to eat, and I was alone. And I don't know, we start talking, and we talked for, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 minutes of things like that. But I didn't even know. Then he tells me that he was going to sell a book. So we start talking about books. So it was kind of fun. And so I said, okay, I'll be there tomorrow. I didn't know it was him that was going to sell the book. So
Nice.
so that
Nice.
was kind of cool. Yes. Okay. This is cool. Those
Oh,
are the
okay.
cards.
Some Mr.
Wax-
Speed merch.
Wax paper.
Mm-hmm.
And I got 3 of them, and one is kind of opening. So there's 5 cards, and there's also a pick. That is in there.
Okay.
Let me see. That's the pic.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Very cool.
And the cards. I don't know if you showed the card before, but
Nice. Yeah, and the style of the 70s cards.
yeah.
Now, those guys, they follow the KISS philosophy and the merchandising and everything, and
Oh, they totally listen. And that's,
very cool.
I mean, I'm all about lighting, and the lighting at that booth where they were selling the stuff was so inviting. Yeah, kudo. They
Hmm.
followed what Gene talked about, and they did very well on that.
Nice.
I
Nice.
think that's pretty much. That's the picture I told you when the M M Live were taking the picture. That's the picture that came out.
Okay.
That's
Very
so
nice.
when I posted on my
Yeah, I saw
Facebook.
that. Very
Yeah.
nice.
And Kids Boulevard says this is an old pictures right here. See, if you ask me what
Right.
makes you so into Kiss Cadillac, back in 77, 78, there were some magazines like Teen Favorite. And there, one time I saw something about the Kiss Boulevard like that. The people, the pole with the Kiss Boulevard sign. I said, "Oh my God!" I don't know why that stuck to me, but I said, "This is so cool." So I know that there were some signs that existed, more than one. And actually, when they did the parade, you see a fan hanging the sign that you wanted signed by Paul,
Hmm.
and then you see that Jane is holding one when they're on that parade thing. He's holding one in his hand. So I was kind of asking Rich, actually, who knows everything about Kiss over there for collectible. I said, is there any signs available? I mean, not available, but is there people that have those signs? He said, I know no one have it. But yeah, I'm sure there's got to be one or two out there.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Mm.
So, Roger, before I let you go,
Yeah.
where do you go from here after this amazing event? Any other bucket list events you'd want to go to? Is there something you would like KISS to do that would compare to the Cadillac event?
Be honest with you, my goal right now is to finish my books. I want to finish my books. I want to document them, videotape, and put that on YouTube so it's available for everybody to look at. That's what I'm working on. I have another year and a half to work on those.
Hmm.
I'm almost done. And as far as Kiss itself, I mean, everything, the two things that came out recently, War Machine, that the video that came out,
Yeah, that was
when I,
cool.
oh my God.
That was cool.
And, you know, I'll be very honest with you. I was kind of afraid that Kiss at one point with kind of slow down in the future. But then I just watched something on the Beatles not too
Hmm.
long ago, and they're like those people that are talking about all the different logos, and there's some serious fanatic fans that are still running things out there. So yeah, I think there's still hope for us.
Yeah.
There's still hope for us for the future. So hopefully, but as far as Kiss itself, to be honest with you right now, I don't know. I'm just gonna go with the flow right now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where I am.
Well, Roger, thank you so much for taking me on this trip with you and
Okay.
allowing me to experience this trip through your eyes. I saw Xander's video. I talked to Thad, and now talking to you, I feel like I got the full experience from many different directions.
Okay.
It was really cool. And I've said it before. For me, this is what the legacy of Kiss should be. This is where the legacy of Kiss should go. Listen, the Las Vegas event, it sounds pretty cool. But this sounds cooler to me because it's something that's run by the fans. It's a celebration of a little event that happened back in 50 years ago. And people to this day are still celebrating it. And the merch that you have, the memories, the pictures, it's part of history. And I hope this is the direction that the legacy goes, where fans do things like this to
Yes,
celebrate history and milestone events in the past that Kiss has done. This is where it should go, in my opinion.
I think so too.
Yeah. So, my friend, mon ami, thank you so much for coming on the show, spending some time with me and talking about your experience. It was, me sitting back, having a cup of coffee, like we're at a cafe and
Yeah,
listening to your stories, like we did a couple of years ago on the Kiss Cruise. That's
yeah,
how
we
we
did.
met.
Yeah,
Listening to your stories over breakfast.
yeah.
It was
Well,
just here, and here we are again. It's just amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you. To the KISS Army, we hope you enjoy this episode. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please send them to talktome@kissarmynationpodcast.com. Until the next time, remember, never stop rocking. Take care, everyone.